Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 27th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Check out that storm system, pretty robust looking there on the mid-level water vapor loop right into the west coast of British Columbia. Continues to trek across northern British Columbia as we speak. Here goes our next system out of the Pacific Ocean. Its bark is a little bit worse than its bite. It looks a little bit more dramatic than what it is going to be, but it will keep the onshore flow going, bring a few showers with it, and then we turn our eyes to a stronger storm. It's going to be moving across the Gulf of Alaska and trying to bring some precipitation down into the region. We'll look at that and we'll look on in towards next week as we go through the extended forecast this morning. Now, taking a look at this morning so far in the visible satellite imagery, you can see that convergence zone hanging across Snohomish County, Plainfield up towards Everett. Lenticular clouds across the North Cascades. Got some sun peeking out across southwest BC, Washington coast there as well, kind of hit and miss, and more sunshine east of the mountains. Look at all the wave action here coming across some of the Rockies of Idaho and Montana up into British Columbia as well. So let's actually take a look at the Doppler radar here. I did want to point this out. You can kind of see this convergence zone just hanging out there from West Lake Stevens, just bubbling around and ebbing and flowing, kind of falling apart a little bit now, but a shower did develop right off to the northwest of Mukilteo. There's Redmond, and you can see some showers off to the northeast of there, continuing to push off towards Sultan and the Highway 2. So back to the forecast here for Spokane. You can see as the system goes through, we're going to have some windy conditions east of the mountains. We're going to drop those temperatures from mid 80s in some areas, more down towards the mid and lower 70s as we go through Sunday. Could have some rapid fire spread at those breezy conditions, and that is being called attention to here from Pendleton and National Weather Service. We'll threaten rapid fire spread here, and this was updated this morning at 5 a.m. Looking at Seattle yesterday, 68 degrees, right there at average, 800ths of an inch of rain, 0.59 so far. We're almost certainly going to end this month below average. We usually average about 1.6 for the month of September. Now I select this station right here on Vashon Island. You can see how you can scroll around on this map and select any one of these weather stations and see all this information for these individual locations. It's always much more fun to have a weather station attached to your place of residence. Look at this wind speed updates every few seconds, lightning detection, stores all the data for you in the cloud. It has a UV index and solar radiation as well. So click on that link down below if you want to save 10% off. Now, looking at what is to come here, we've got some model disagreements showing up, and I want to point that out. There goes the system yesterday. We've got the system coming through that's going to keep the onshore flow going, especially as we go on in through Sunday, and maybe a few showers with it. Build a little bit of a ridge here, but then this strong storm moves into southwest BC. The GFS a little bit more robust with that system, and it tries to bring some precipitation across western British Columbia. Probably going to make it there. How far will that make it towards Washington? I'll show you that here in a moment. But as we go off in towards the mid portion of the week, the GFS was showing this system a little bit, actually much stronger. This is the complete reversal. This is a troughing and a fairly decent frontal system versus some ridging right off our coastline here on the European. I'll show you the 12Z GFS here in a moment because I do want to show that because it did take a little bit of a turn here. And if we just kind of back up, we can kind of watch that here. Let's scroll all the way back and run through the GFS again. So there comes Saturday's system. There we'll keep the onshore flow going. Ridge builds. There goes our stronger storm up towards southeast Alaska. And then this next system, looks like the GFS is held back on that a little bit here, as you can see. So it has changed. But it still does not show the same kind of ridging that the European was showing during this time frame, for example. So we still have some model disagreement coming up as we go through next week. Now let's take a look at precipitation chances. This is the storm system clearing our area today. Not a bad clear out. There's going to be some sunshine across the region today, so get out there and enjoy that. Then we go through Saturday. You notice that system off the shoreline not bringing much precipitation to speak of across British Columbia and Washington. Strong storm up into southeast Alaska brings some decent precipitation amounts into western British Columbia and maybe some for the North Cascades and the Washington coast, but not much to speak of for Seattle or Portland. And we go all the way out towards hour 144. Not much precipitation as we go through the end of the month of September. Now, take a look at the GFS on the left versus the GFS. Let's compare it versus itself. I do want to just kind of point out some of the changes that the model went through coming up. There's that stronger system as we go through the early portion of this next week coming up. And then you can see how this frontal system, the GFS, had it moving a bit closer to Washington, for example, and you can see it's backed off on that. But still, even that one didn't bring a lot of precipitation with it as well. And if we scroll a little bit further out, you can see maybe a stronger storm, but we're looking 159 hours out. No point in doing that right now. Total precipitation in inches. Let's put this into motion. This is the 12Z run. And look at this. Western British Columbia, again, with these storm systems, is getting the lion's share as we go out to about hour 162. This will be about next Thursday night. And you can see not much for Seattle. Virtually zero precipitation in the meantime for places like Oregon. But look at these big amounts again across Haida Gwaii and mainly Vancouver Island northbound. And Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, this is the 06Z GFS. The 30 ensemble members are shown here. And it does show some precipitation here as we go on into Thursday night. Again, take that with a grain of salt. You saw how badly the model was flipping and flopping back and forth. But, you know, we'll watch that daily here because going to this fall transition has not been kind to some of these model runs. Now, looking at the North American model, 80-meter wind speed, you'll see that as we go through the day Saturday, watch the flow to kind of change. We got this north wind coming down the Puget Sound as we go through Saturday morning. But then as this frontal system, again, not bringing a lot of precipitation, moves through on Saturday. See, by Saturday afternoon, it really kicks up on the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Decent westerly surge coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca as we go through Saturday night. And some of these wind gusts could be approaching 40, 50 miles per hour as we go through the day Sunday as well. I should point that out. Maybe some blowing dust with that activity also. Now, if I scroll through here really quick, this is accumulated max wind gusts. You can see, again, some of those stronger winds for places east of the mountains. Looks like Whidbey Island, you know, right off the west point there, and some gusts up towards 35, 40 miles per hour. Not too big of a deal. Here's Seattle-Tacoma on the GFS over the next 15 days. You can kind of see these systems kind of skirting by here, kind of seasonable here. No big heat waves showing up, and you know, no very strong frontal system showing up just yet. But again, with the models flipping and flopping, we got to watch that closely because that can change in a heartbeat. Now, looking at wave heights, this system is bringing a bump in waves as we go through the day today. This is this morning, kind of peaking here, maybe late morning, early afternoon, and then the waves start to relax as we go through Friday night and on in through Saturday. If you're headed out towards the coastline, the waves are going to be much reduced from where they are today. And then if we scroll far enough out, you can see that next deep low moving up into the Gulf of Alaska here and trying to bring another bump in some of this wave activity here as we go through the midweek period. So, yeah, there you have it. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. I take this with a grain of salt, too. I mean, I'm not even sure why I'm showing this here. This is going to be flipping and flopping back and forth. And look at that southwest kind of dominated by the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, kind of near normal here across some of the Pacific Northwest. Now, the drought monitor, I haven't showed this in a while. This was updated on September 24th. You can see we still have some severe drought. In western Montana, look at that. Some extreme and exceptional drought is still out there. And a widespread moderate drought across eastern Oregon as well. And you can see the Puget Sound right now is drought free, not even abnormally dry. The yellow is abnormally dry here across some of western Oregon. So yeah, hopefully we can start getting some of these systems in here. No doubt it will come as we go through the fall months here. But again, a lot of that precipitation has been up into western British Columbia. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow. It'll be interesting to look and see what the weather models bring for us next with the extended forecast. And I will talk to you guys then.